year, so it's
No.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Mary.
Commissioner Wilkinson?
Here.
Commissioner Justardens?
Here.
Commissioner Bird?
Here.
Commissioner Prunick?
Here.
Mayor Barry?
Here. All right, item B, public comment, 4-minute limit. Hearing none, we'll move to item C, the consent agenda.
I have a question. I would like to make a motion to break out the city manager's report for a while we're doing this.
For a while?
Well, just the next couple, 3 or 4 meetings instead of doing this
Okay.
every meeting. Just because it's extensive and there's a lot going on. So,
Okay.
I got 4 copies.
I got a couple copies. too.
yeah, I got a couple.
All right, it's been moved by Commissioner Wilkinson to pull the city manager's report off of the consent agenda and make it item A1,
I support.
supported by Commissioner Justardens. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So-
A1?
A1.
1A.
1A.
Well, I was gonna put it in front, oh, wait, I'm gonna put it, under, new city business.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then we'll put it right in front of, the treasurer's report, so.
Okay.
Okay,
I would also like to add one other thing, if I may. I would like to start the process of looking through or going through our city charter. According to the charter, we have to do that at least every 10 years. And I know we have to appoint a commission, but I'd like to get started on bringing that up to see where we start, and how we go about that, if we can do that, and, E10 or whatever, then we can go about doing that. You
okay.
know a lot more about that than I do,
Has
so.
it been 10 years since the new charter? No.
2015, I think.
It has?
Yeah.
The revision was approved in 2016, so the
Right.
10th year is this year.
Okay,
Days
so,
go by like boxcars in the night.
so we got a motion on the tape, on the floor for,
Support.
visiting the, hold on. Visiting this city charter to have a discussion on, moving forward with reviewing it. Supported by
Support.
Commissioner Bird.
We're going to 10, dropping that to 10.
Yep, it'll be the last item. Item number 10. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Okay, so city charter, okay, one more, we have one more addition, actually. It was given to us just now before the meeting. I'd like someone to entertain a motion to add the Seabird Enterprise dump truck rental contract agreement to the agenda, as we, back in December, we said that after 50, what was it?
After 40.
58 hours, that we were gonna contract for 58 hours only, and we're at 43 right now. So they're speculating that we'll hit 58 next week. So I'd like to add that as item 11. Someone make that motion?
I would make the motion that we add the Seaburg Enterprise dump truck rental as item E11.
I'll support.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Bird, supported by Commissioner Prunick to add Seabird Enterprise dump truck rental agreement as item 11 on the agenda. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries.
And I'll make the motion, we approve the consent agenda with the breakout of the city manager's report.
And support.
Okay, been moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Justardens to approve the consent agenda after taking off the city manager's report. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Okay.
Actually, I have one quick comment. There's no city attorney report, just for anybody that will be chasing it down because it's listed on the agenda. So that way there's a known reason why it's not there. Okay.
Okay. Item 1, water sewer rate study. John Holland, you're up.
I'm up.
You're up.
I'm John Holland. I'm with the Michigan Rural Water Association. A little bit about Michigan Rural Water so you know where I'm coming from. We do a lot of rate studies in the state. We are a nonprofit organization. We're funded through USDA and US EPA to help water and wastewater systems throughout the state of Michigan. We have 50 rural water associations out there in the states, and our mission is to provide services to towns of 10,000 under in population. Small towns. That's our mission. So that's obviously pretty much everywhere in the UP except Marquette, Escanaba, and Sault Ste. Marie. I was Ron can tell I was a circuit rider up here for 9 years, and I switched to wastewater here a couple of years back. So I'm helping everybody up here on wastewater now. One of the things I'm going to talk about on rate studies, one thing you must keep in mind, my rate analysis is looking at what the city of Munising requires to run your system. Every system is a unique, as I say, it's a unique individual person. You know, I'm no wastewater operator, water operator, so my system's unique. You can take Ron's wastewater plant from here, move it downstate, it's gonna function entirely different. Climate's different, water's different, what's coming in is different. So you have to look at your system individually. Some systems have older pipe, some systems have newer pipe. We were talking with Ron earlier today. One of your towns here, was it 93 it was put in? Trinary? Or Trinary?
Oh,
Yeah.
Water system.
Yeah. Whereas yours is, how old's the oldest pipe in the ground right now?
1897.
1897, yeah. A little bit difference in age, so. So what we do is we look at cost of labor and benefits, your operational costs, your loan payments, both principal, interest, and any required reserve fundings. That's typically found on USDA loans or RD loans. And we look at what we have for reserve funds in both your capital improvement and your asset management. You are required to have an asset management plan for your water system by the state statutes. You do not have to have a capital improvement plan, or you have to have a capital improvement plan, but there's no legal requirement to fund it. So it's kind of one of those real strange things, I'll say. Things we consider in the water rate, your asset management plan. State of Michigan is now, like I said, required population serving over 1,000 to create one. Your asset management plan is a reserve fund for reoccurring costs in the system. Things like painting a water tower, changing filters, maybe, you don't have filters, but well rehabilitation, things of that nature. We've also had a bunch of lead copper rule changes, which I think you're probably aware of, and that is you are required to change out all your service lines that are lead, previous or anything previous or galvanized previously connected to lead. It has to go into the home 18 inches or the first valve, whichever is shorter. And that includes your galvanized lines, unless you can prove they were never hooked to lead. And that's really difficult because because Eagle has said that any records past 1988 aren't accurate enough. So pretty much everybody's replacing their galvanized. And I know you've got a pretty decent start on that.
Yeah, we just got funded this year to
Okay.
do them all.
Do them all, good. I'm still mentioning it because some towns haven't started. So, this is how we do a rate calculation. We add up the total cost of the system that you need to run. We find out the total, what's called residential equivalent units, or REUs. A REU essentially is a house. Now, some meters and some buildings are counted as multiple homes because of the size of the meter. Then we look at the amount of water sold or sewer invoiced. Then we take the REUs and we determine the ready-to-serve fee, and we use the water units sold to determine the commodity fee. And how we do that is we take that total cost and we divide it in two. We put a portion towards the commodity fee, portion towards the ready-to-serve fee, and then that ready-to-serve fee is divided by your REUs, and then your units sold, the portion that goes to commodity is divided by your units. It's just addition, division. Here is your water customer. You have about 1,018. Now that kind of flexes over the years, over the time. Some people have shut-offs, turn-ons, but this is basically your average. You have 12 out of city, 1,018 in the city for a total of 1,030, which gives you a grand total of REUs in a billing cycle, because you bill monthly, of 21,935. As you can see, this is all on an Excel spreadsheet as well. This is the units of water sold over the last 3 years, and it's pretty consistently about 67 million between the two, between out of city and the city. And for purposes of this rate study, we use the lowest amount sold. It's better to be a little conservative that way, other than taking the highest amount, because if you, all of a sudden you're selling at the lower amount, you could be shorted on money. Here are your bonds and loan payments. There are two upcoming, Washington Street and your lead services, 1.8 and 1.4 million. I received this from Kirsten here on basically what, is it USDA that you're getting that through? What the USDA loans are estimating for payments. So that was taken into account into this rate study. Above it are loans that you are making payments on right now, and that is just principal and interest, none of the reserve accounts. So your operational costs are $810,993. Your loans and required reserves are $516,512. Your asset management is $90,000, and we did not put anything towards a capital improvement at current time due to you have 2 loans coming up that should take care of a lot of what you're looking at for a possible capital improvement. For a total of $1.4 million. Hopefully you can see that. And Michelle and Kirsten, feel free to share this with any of your customers out there. Added up, it has calculated out to $27.96 and $10.49.
Fixed and per gallon,
That would be per 1,000 gallons,
per thousand?
per 1,000.
That $27.96 per
That would be per home, per REU.
REU.
Yes. We do this as a reflection to a homeowner. So this is what you're looking at for, if you own the home, if you own a home, you're on the commission, of course you own a home in the city. Okay, maybe you're ready? Okay. Are you paying the water bill?
No.
Okay, well,
That's a 13% increase over.
that's 13.4%. I wasn't able to get it on there, it got cut off a little bit. But you can see the current rate right now is $24.65 and $9.25. And I believe that adds up to, there it is, percentage increase. If you use 4,000 gallons a month, that is a $8.26 increase per month. Sewer fund, we do the same thing. All the calculations are the same on the sewer end of things. Right here, you have a few less customers because you have some that are sewer only, or water only. That adds up to 996 customers, or 21,485 RAUs. And you can see there how the RAU, like for instance, I should have mentioned this earlier, you take a 1-inch water meter, that is the equivalent here of 2.8 homes. Bigger the meter, the more water it can flow through it. Once again, about 65 million gallons, a little bit less on the sewage that's coming in because of the water-only customers. There we go.
Calculated based on water usage,
Yes.
Yes.
not actual, doesn't consider infiltration.
It's built on water sold and sewer invoiced, not what's pumped. Because there is water loss in the system. Meters aren't 100%, pipes aren't 100%, and then of course you got infiltration on the sewer end of things as well. So we go strictly off of the billing here.
How do you have only water-only customers?
They have still a drain field, Sandpoint.
Oh,
Sandpoint
okay.
Road, yeah.
Most of
Majority are
septic?
Sandpoint.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna have to look at Ron for that answer.
Yeah, we've got water main that extends out there, but there's no sewer.
So they've got septic, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough one up there.
Here is the capital improvement list that was put together for the city. It's equals to about $235,000, and basically wastewater upgrades, UV upgrades, Washington Street upgrades. Operational costs of $996,820. Loans and required reserves are $521,608. Asset management for the sewer side was $167,571. Capital improvements for $235,000 for a grand total of $1,976,191. And once again, here it is. The spreadsheet, you can't really see, but it really came out to a wash. You're on target for your sewer.
Recommendation would still be CPI for sewer.
I would recommend that you keep the normal 3% or 2% or whatever rates come. What is your budget year again? July 1? Yep, come July.
In addition to a water rate increase or in lieu of?
It'd be in addition to the water on the sewer end.
Sewer would just be.
Right, sewer adjustment would be 3%, but this would make a recommendation of the CPI of 3% and the additional.
Of 13.4 on the
13.4 is to catch us up where we should be.
Yeah, that
And that
catches up where
includes
we
the
should be,
3%.
where you should be.
No.
It's
No,
above.
that's on top of the 3% is on top of the 13.4.
We're that much short at the moment.
You know, I've been doing this for 30 years and I don't remember ever seeing this type of a water or sewer rate study before. It might be that I'm just senile and I don't remember, but
Julie would do them, but
we've never had.
we did them through Commissioner, just not a presentation on them.
Okay. Yeah, and I like it, it's,
Good, I'm glad, thank you.
other than the fact that it's gonna suggest a water rate increase next year.
And what's, well, yeah, I was quoted in the paper one time as saying I'm seldom a bearer of good news.
So you're gonna be here for that meeting when we tell people it's gonna be 13% increase?
Sure, it can be,
Just checking.
Can we get a copy of the PowerPoint as well?
absolutely.
Okay.
I'll send it to Michelle and Kirsten both. Yeah.
I
And
need to-
Ron even, so I got his email address as well.
I need to do some homework on those figures and just, I mean, I understand it, but I need to break them down myself to, just quickly.
So it tells me that our CPI, annual CPI rate increase has been inadequate on the water side to keep up.
It's been
Cost of
inadequate on the
operation.
water side. As you can see here for the sewer fund, I looked at your profit loss statement and you're actually doing that's doing well. The problem is everything is so incredibly expensive since COVID. Ron and I were looking at your new well house down there. That probably would have been half as much 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Actually, I know it would have been half as much. And the reason we have reserves is this, right here's a real life example. Back in fall of 19, Manistee came into that. That's their main interceptor sewer that was going into the plant. They lost, that's US 2. They lost the whole lane.
And that sewer's like 22 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. It was $1 million, and I think Corey said now it was like 1 point, it was a little more than that, like 1.5 or something.
Their system is older than ours, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this isn't unlike your problem that you had here several years back, I know behind, was it behind the Shell station?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got pictures of that on my, and I use them in some of my classes,
Oh, yeah.
by the way, just so you know.
Our open flowing channel.
I was just telling Michelle a story this morning about how we had city commissioners who would complain that the fishing was much better when we just dumped it untreated into the bay.
Fish were a little plumper, were they?
A lot of the old timers still say it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just
No
continue.
weekends left.
Yep. Now, also, here, AWWA recommends a 2 to 12 month unrestricted reserve account for emergency purposes like that. For your water system, that's about 400, and your sewer's about 500,000. That gives you a 6 month reserve. They also, USDA and Eagle both recommend an annual increase each year on a regular basis. These help prevent substantial increases usually. Sometimes if you go out for loans or something, then you end up doing a substantial. And I found usually 3 to 5 years a good span on rate analysis. However, I have some communities that opt to have one done every single year. And Kirsten and I have been talking about, that might be a good idea to come back next year when you have better numbers on that Washington, was it Washington Street and the, what was the other name of the other one there? Both those loans.
That's where it's lines. That one is pretty much.
And I have no problem doing that. I've got some communities that are on my list.
So Michelle, you will incorporate these numbers into your budget recommendation? Put his name on that section.
No problem. What's nice about me is I don't have the old saying goes, I don't have a horse in a race, so.
Well, our
It is
charter
what it is.
requires all of our enterprise funds to set fees high enough to pay operational costs anyway, so it's not like we have a choice.
Yeah.
Though it will not make it any more popular with the ratepayers when I tell them that. And blame it on John.
The only thing you can slow it down is to stop it.
I'll just blame it on Ron, so, yeah. Ron did it.
Yeah.
Anybody asking questions right along, but if there are any other questions you have?
So you look, no, you look at a lot of systems, you don't look at the actual systems themselves, the pipes in the ground, you just look at the cost of operating it.
I look at the cost of operating, now the capital improvement plan does look at pipes in the ground a little bit.
Yeah.
Usually I rely on, most cities have some kind of a capital improvement plan already. The operators like Ron know, okay, I know this section remains, 1897, so we probably ought to be replacing that.
Where do we have a water main that old? On Superior?
All
Cast,
the way from Lynn to
Oh,
the
wow.
highway.
cast or wood?
Yeah,
Cast.
we had wood staves up the
It's all
west end and
cast.
we replaced it.
And Elm Street from the highway to post office in Elm Street.
And they're also recommending replacing 4-inch water mains too with 8-inch.
Well, the
Do
good
fire.
news is that we've replaced most of the rest of the system in the last 15
Yeah,
years.
it's just a stretch, little stretch here and there that's left after Washington Street.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
No problem.
For coming and, yeah, good information. All right, let's move on to item new business. Let's start.
Here's my card, there you go.
Thank you. Let's start with the city manager's report.
You got one.
Okay.
That was great, thank you.
You wanted the city manager's report out?
Yeah, I was just going through, I had a couple of questions. The funding of the PER
Oh, yes.
is reimbursable?
Yes,
If we get the grant.
so the funding for the PER is reimbursable if we get a USDA project. That's a big if and also a big when. I don't have a strong feeling that that is like an imminent project. I mean, of course, I would love it if it was, but I don't have something to say either way.
Well, this is what we asked to have.
To apply for the grant.
Well, we have the company come and give us a presentation on the plan that they're proposing.
Right. We
We talked about that
table
last.
this till
Yep.
next meeting. It's, we have to have this work done in order to apply for the grant.
Correct.
And we can be reimbursed if we get the grant.
Right. It's
But
a-
we
it's a
won't be
gamble.
if we don't.
Right.
We just eat the cost.
Yeah.
It's a big ask too.
It is.
40,000. So. Do you have another question?
I got several.
Okay.
Looking at the SRTS, Safe Routes to School,
Yes, yes.
and reading the resolution, it says that we're responsible for the engineering costs up to 20%, which is about $200,000. Okay? And then we're responsible for the upkeep.
Correct.
And we don't have any clue of what that's, do we have any idea what it might cost us to keep that up? Or where are we gonna get $200,000?
That's a good question that I don't have the answer to just yet. However, so I put info in here and I have found out more info since. So I found out that we don't need the I'm just gonna round to $200,000 like immediately. That's something that could be worked out where it's done over a multiple year time frame. And then, wait, what was the other?
Either way, we gotta do, and the cost of the upkeep.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of time to look into the upkeep. That is definitely something that I think we should know. Yeah, there's a lot of questions that I would love for you to know. And I guess I don't have a clear, kind of the timing of this project has not come, it's not elegant timing. So what's the best way to gather and disperse the information?
Well, whether we lay out $200,000 over 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, it's still $200,000.
It's still a lot of money.
And it's gotta come from someplace.
Correct.
So that's a problem that I would like to know
Agreed.
before it starts and try to get some idea of what it's gonna cost us. You know,
We are gonna have another meeting with, I'll just say the stakeholders or whatnot, the school, the Pullman, Michelle, myself, on the 28th. So to get more clarified information on the two routes or the two proposals that they are proposing.
Did we talk about having them come to the
They're
commission?
gonna come to the 4th, on the 4th.
Okay,
Yes,
that's-
they're supposed to be here on the 4th.
Yeah, I put it off in my head until then.
So that's kind of where it's at.
we're talking about a resolution tonight.
Yeah, but the city, no.
Well,
No, we're not.
basically, the resolution is to just put in front of you so you can see what it says. The ask for the resolution will be if we're ready on the 4th.
Okay.
If we're not ready, we can, let them know, but we should have some input on, if we need to change the wording or.
That the city is responsible for 20% of the cost is new to me.
Yeah,
That just
the
kind of,
engineering cost, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
well, this project on the whole, it's kind of been one of those, we just are, I'll just say it, getting the information sort of piecemeal, just by, it's nobody's fault, it's just the way that this thing has kind of come down the pipe.
Well, it was sprung on us to start with.
Well, that's what I
Right.
mean, trying to be a little more positive, but, so just trying to give as much information as we can.
So, let's begin about as much information as we can. I appreciate the maps, like some of the stuff that was added to this to give us more information. This is the first time I've seen it. And again, we can pass the other aspect of it, but usually when we talk about major upgrades like this, there's some kind of visual, like in terms of like what a pedestrian island actually is defined by. Are they going to be the same kind on M28 as we would see somewhere else? Is it gonna be like Lynn? Is it gonna be like a Michigan left situation in Gladstone? Like there's so many ways that word could be interpreted, and again, there's no wrong way, but it's just something that I noticed. And then additionally, some of the comments, because of the way that it came down the pipeline, some of the comments that I know I had talked about ended up in the non-motorized plan. So, because here I am, like, trying to respond to this and saying, like, all right, the only time that I see anything about safe routes to school is in the non-motorized plan. A lot of the comments that I had for safe routes to school ended up in a different report. So this is time 8 going through the non-motorized report for me to go pull out all my comments and then make sure I can leave, which so I haven't sent those PDFs because,
Those plans overlap.
well,
In some ways, yeah.
that was just kind of the way that it was presented. Like, again, nothing wrong, but now there's extra work to be done by all parties.
Okay.
This plan is figure 1, alternative 1 shows Farnham Street in the project.
It does,
And, I know we're not going to do that.
correct.
Now, I'm looking at West Superior Street in one block of Farnham Street.
Are you still on alternative 1?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
I
yeah.
guess I'll caveat or just kind of put note, so I was given the directive to include alternative 1. However, I believe that we are basically on alternative 2 because it takes out Barnum Street, but,
Takes out Farnham Street and raises the cost by $200,000.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now, and it doesn't, and I'm assuming that Michael will be here and to answer these questions.
Yep.
It shows sidewalks, we have sidewalks where it shows sidewalks except for that section of Farnham and East Jewel, and Park Street. But like, for instance, West Superior Street, there is an existing sidewalk on both sides of that street.
Yep, so the plan, when you see something and there's already a sidewalk there, they'll basically rehabilitate it, make ADA ramps at the
Okay.
intersections. So in some ways, that won't necessarily like increase city costs because they're
And-
replacing in kind.
The pedestrian island in the highway is MDOT's call. We have no authority over that. And quite frankly, I'm pretty sure our plow truck drivers are going to have a major problem with that. As they will the 2 pedestrian islands on Elm Avenue. We had 2 pedestrian islands on Elm Avenue before, and we took one out because it was a snow plow trip. There was, where we have the one by the post office. There was also one down close to the stoplight, and we took that one out. And I question whether or not there's room on that one block of Elm Avenue for pedestrian islands and angled parking. It's already quite congested there. But anyway, I'm sure Mike will answer all these questions on the 4th when he shows up.
And to clarify that this is just your write-up in here.
That's what the information that I had at the due, well,
Oh.
most of the information that I had when I kind of put everything in the packet, so. I've got quite a bit of information since then, so obviously,
I'm gonna go back to the original question that I've asked. Has anybody called up emergency services and asked about this project yet?
As far as I understand, yes, they have. I don't know the depth of their involvement, but my understanding is yes.
Okay.
But I can verify that.
I had another question, and we're gonna be talking about it later, as far as, an increase from Hall. Why, in God's name, did they not include locks and lighting and that type?
Let's wait to talk about that at the, on the agenda item. We'll discuss that then.
Yeah, I kind of overlapped that.
Okay. That's all I have.
Please, Bob. All right, anybody else have anything else on the city manager's report?
We approve it?
Okay.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Wilkinson to approve the city manager's report. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. Item 1, treasurer's report.
I like the graph.
So, Michelle suggested that we move it off the consent agenda, so you guys can ask any questions. A little background on this. Get me some feedback that maybe the report that's been presented in the past isn't maybe the easiest to read or understand. When Ray was here, I pulled a couple graphs together, presented them to him, presented them to the other people, other staff at City Hall, and say, hey, which ones are easiest to understand? Do you understand what's being presented in front of you? The one in front of you, with the bar graph with the line graph on top of it, is kind of the consensus of like, this makes the most sense. Then brought that back to Ray and asked him, how often would you suggest presenting something like this? And he kind of said like halfway through the year as an easy visual marker, and then closer to the end of the year as another marker. I am open to running this graph for all the funds. I just wasn't sure if you wanted that for all of them. This is just your general fund expenditures. I can do it for revenues. I don't know if that is important information to you guys, if you want to see that visually rather than just a set of numbers.
I would.
Yeah, I would.
This is really helpful, yeah.
How difficult is this to do?
That's just an Excel graph.
Okay. I guess I'm just thinking quarterly instead of semi-annually.
Yeah, so this graph is exactly the same data set. It's run from this.
Right.
These two columns is what you're looking at in a graph.
Yeah. I think a quarterly would be good too.
Yeah.
Good enough for me.
Okay.
And
The
you
graph
want it
is-
for each fund or specific funds?
I think revenue would be good to have that as well.
Revenue for all funds, revenue and expenditure for all funds?
Yeah.
The only
It's
thing
gonna
that
get
I
thicker.
might add to that though is that some of these, the graph is not at a good scale for some of the smaller funds. So how hard is it to have like the big funded ones in one graph and then the small ones in a small, just so that way this y-axis value.
It's not hard,
Put it on
I
11 by
just-
17.
make it bigger, but I guess it just depends on what your threshold for quote-unquote smaller is.
Well,
Like,
we
you
can-
only want police and public works and transfers out on one graph and the rest on another graph, you're still gonna have a lot of lines.
Well, lines are fine, but like 4 of these are above 200,000 and then 14 are below it. And so it's kind of hard to see those aspects, at least from a visual representation. I know I was also struggling with the grayscale when I got it as part of the packet, so I appreciate the color too.
Yeah.
It's just simple nitpicking to give you as much constructive feedback moving forward. So-
I'm open to
Well,
feedback, I just.
How about you experiment, and when you bring them back to us, if we have any questions on how we can streamline them, or we can ask them.
Having revenues would be good too.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so bring those back quarterly. Any more discussion? All right.
Move that we accept the treasurer's monthly report.
It's been moved by Commissioner Birch, supported by Commissioner Prunick to accept the treasurer's monthly report. All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries. Kathy Reynolds is not here. We got her monthly report. I missed the meeting this morning, so.
She wrote it
This
out.
afternoon.
So, but yeah, I could have at least added to it. And, so, we can move on from there. Okay, item 3, Coleman Engineering invoice for Washington Street Sewer for $7,626.25. These came in a little bit, they kind of cross lines, so that's why we don't really have a good detailed explanation on them. But is there anything you want to?
Yeah, I can give you the detailed explanation. Yeah, like Chris said here, I have asked Coleman to continue providing kind of the budget, invoice to date and remaining, and then going forward, we should get a little narrative about what work was done, to represent what was billed. So the let's see, there's 2 of them here. The 626 and the 5922, those are under the Washington Street project, which was one project. And then there's like kind of 2 bins of funding under that Washington, there's actually 3, but we were billed under 2 bins of that project. And basically, let's see. So Coleman is finalizing the design for the Tannery Street lift station. The city, Ron, is working on the USDA docket checklist. Ron's also meeting with the Comfort Inn regarding a land swap to build the new lift station. Coleman is finalizing road design, conducting a quantity takeoff to get a good construction cost estimate. And then Coleman anticipates having a plan review with the city in the next 3 weeks. So
That's a synopsis of, item 3 and 4? Okay. We'll take them separately. So we'll take Coleman Engineering invoice for Washington Street Sewer, $7,626.25.
I move we approve invoice number 58675 in the amount of $7,626.25 for Coleman Engineering.
I'll support.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Wilkinson to approve invoice number 58675 in the amount of $7,626.25 to Coleman Engineering. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, we'll move right on. Item 4, Coleman Engineering invoice for Washington Street Community Facilities at $5,922.25.
I'll make the motion to approve invoice number 58674 for the amount of $5,922.25.
I'll support.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Prunick, to approve invoice number 58674 to Coleman Engineering in the amount of $5,922.25. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 5, Coleman Engineering invoice for 2026 lead service line replacement, $10,308.75.
And I can do a quick verbal, what that was. So basically, preliminary plans were prepared, packaged, and delivered to Eagle. And the design for the lead service line replacement is around 60% complete. Work continues, and then construction for this project is anticipated in the late fall of 2026.
September.
I'll make a motion to approve the invoice number 58667 for $10,308.75.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Birch, to approve the Coleman Engineering invoice 58667 in the amount of $10,308.75. Any more discussion?
Yes. Ron, I think we have 190 unknown service lines?
We're down to 111 now.
We have, that we can't identify the
We have to-
residents?
Yeah, we have to get in the house to see what's coming through the wall.
Okay, but we know where the lines are, it's not like they're
Oh, yeah,
We
no,
don't know
no.
where they
We're just
go.
Identifying the material.
Okay, okay.
Actually, Red just came to my house
Yeah,
this
no,
week.
it's just about identifying the material.
Red comes to my house, I'm gonna give him coffee.
He's in a hurry, trust me, he's got 111 now.
Yeah.
He was in a hurry the day that he was at my place. Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, authorizing Michelle Harrison to be added as a signer on bank accounts at People's State Bank, Embers Credit Union, and Range Bank. There is a memo from
Three
Kristen.
memos, I see. I move that Michelle be added to those three accounts.
I'll support.
To all city accounts at the 3 banks.
Okay, all city accounts at the three banks.
Yes.
Range Bank, Embers,
Way to
and
jump in there.
PSC.
Yeah. She knows which one. Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Jarvis, supported by Commissioner Knick, to authorize Michelle Harrison to be added as a signer on all city accounts at People's State Bank, Embers Credit Union, and Range Bank. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. Now we're whipping through here. Item 7, Alger Parks and Recs contribution clarification. So basically, we just need to kind of figure out, I know we talked about this last, when was it, June? This 546150 is a payment that's due. It's our last one in this contract.
No, with this one plus one more.
Oh, there is one more? Okay.
There's 2 more.
So, the cleanest way to do this, if we're going to increase the per capita cost to $15, is, I'm thinking, pay these two, and then start with the new.
Fiscal year?
At the new fiscal year when we have a new agreement.
So okay with you, Bob?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Is that legal, based on the way that the motion's been made?
Well, I'm looking at the motion I made. It doesn't have a time contribution because it was dependent upon Munising Township acting in a like fashion.
Correct, but they already have, and they've already made the payment.
Okay?
They have, but their fiscal year is different than
And
ours.
this is January 1st.
Right, so that's the reason why I'm asking about it being legal, is because it's not that, we didn't make it based on the contracts that we made or our fiscal years. We made them based on it being dependent on Munising Township's direct action.
But we
Munising
did not,
Township hasn't made that direct action.
but we did not state when
Mhm.
it would be started. I think we got some wiggle room in there.
I think it was discussed that if the township went along with the $15, that we would keep our contract this year and then start it July 1st, our new fiscal year, when we could budget it.
It makes sense to me. It's logical. Seems appropriate.
I was just trying to remember back,
Those numbers are-
June's a long time for me.
I do think that's right, about Vanessa. The thinking, if I remember correctly.
Nice new pen leaking all over me.
Okay. If there's no more discussion, I didn't get a motion.
I would actually question that again. I asked if it's legal, we have an attorney here.
Well, what's the concern again?
So specifically, as the motion is listed, is that we are to approve increasing the per capita contribution to $15 per person, as long as Munising Township also increases to $15 per person for their new budget year. That is the end of the motion. They have taken those actions in place based on their own fiscal year and their own contracts, but they have,
Munising Township?
Munising Township has effectively done all of the things that are declared in this motion. And so are we to rely on the motion that is made, which would affect the next two payments? Or are we to rely on the existing contract that has been presented, that we are in agreement on already? And that is where it comes into the question.
I think it's proposed, this is correct. Yeah, this is the year contract,
Here's what I would say. I think that, yes, my impression is that it is legal, but stepping in as I am right now, I would have to, I think the best course would be to research it and then let me know.
Well, if we did it before our fiscal year started in June, or on July 1st, we would have to amend our budget for the current fiscal year and increase it by 2 payments of however much that came out
Four
to.
times 1986, which is what?
About-
Or
No.
2 times,
about
right?
8 grand. Well, to be a quarter.
It's roughly a couple $1,000.
We got 1,986 households, so.
Well, this is, it's, the payment's 5461, it would jump to 7447.
Right,
So a couple $1,000-ish.
yeah.
Is there anything in the partnership agreement that has a late fee if we don't pay this on time? And the reason why I ask is that we could just table it until this is researched, so that way we make sure that we do it the right way.
Yeah, I guess I don't have a problem with that. I mean, the payments are due, but the increases, we're not gonna do anything with the increase until July 1st anyway, so we can table it if you want.
I just don't know.
I mean,
if
the
we-
payments are due.
I mean, I don't mind making the payment of $5,461.50. I'm cool with that. I don't think that there's a problem with that. But if we have the difference of $2,000, I think, we're probably, that aspect of it, I would want to have a review just in case, and I don't know if that's gonna impact the payment style. So if Elgin Parks and Recs doesn't care about the extra 2,500 or so, just for us to figure that out, because I have a feeling that we're gonna have to pay this at the budget amendment at the end of the two payments anyway.
I'm not following you. We're not, the increase from 11 to $15 per household, or per person, I mean, per capita, doesn't kick in until July 1st.
I don't believe that that's what says, what is being stated in.
Well, it's implied, but that's
Right.
difficult.
I mean, that doesn't, the increase doesn't have anything to do with the added, the payment that's due right now, the 5461. The increase doesn't have anything to do with that.
I disagree. I think that, based on the motion and based on the actions by Munising Township, I absolutely think that that is the case. I think that we are on the hook for these 2 payments for the increase, and that was my argument when I brought this up in June and why I voted against it in June.
Do you want to make that motion? That we pay the increased amount beginning immediately? Is that what you want to do?
I think that's what we have to do.
I don't
But it
believe we
also,
have to.
I don't think we-
I think that there's a discrepancy about whether we have to. I think that we should, based on how the motion went, I think we should stand by our word of our motion.
You got a good point there.
I'm also okay with just tabling it for this meeting and taking a run at it in February when we have everybody set up and can get an answer, because I know that it's tough for the attorney.
Kirsten, is this 5461, that's a contract amount that's been around here for 3 years?
So that is what would be the quarterly payment based on the contract, that is the first page.
That's correct.
So
Doesn't have
it's
anything to do with the increase.
21,846 divided by 4.
So where is the contract, the contract is in effect right now, at least,
That's the first page of this little packet, is the contract. That was
so it's
signed
23, so it's good, it was a 3-year contract, it's good till next year.
3 fiscal years.
Or,
It's
Right,
the end
so-
of this fiscal.
Right, so it's good till July 1st.
Right.
That is how I.
so contractually, we are only obligated to pay the amount we're paying now.
I think that is what the question is, based
Yes.
on your motion from June.
But in order for us to pay the increased amount, we would have to amend the contract in addition to the budget.
Right.
I think we
am not
might wanna
contract
table this.
attorney.
To me, I would table it until we get that. I mean, Alger County Parks is not hoping that the city come up with the extra $4 per capita. We assumed that it would be July 1st, that we would have a new contract.
When you say
We
we,
would
you
sign-
mean the Alger Parks and Rec.
Alger County Parks and Rec. We assumed that we would have a new contract starting July 1st for 3 years. 3-year contract to include the increase per capita. That's what, I mean, we didn't, that's in our minutes. So I guess I understand what Rod's saying, that, you know, if we do this now, we gotta amend the budget and do all kinds of things. I just don't think it's necessary.
Well, I
I mean, I understand where Bryce is coming from,
Well,
but that
and
doesn't,
the compromise would be, as long as we're not contractually obligated to pay this payment by a certain date, is I would entertain a motion to table this until we have more information, more clarity.
I will 100% make the motion that we table this until is February 4th is the first meeting?
Yep.
To the February 4th meeting for review.
And I'm sorry, you work with Bill?
I do, yes.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
I'm attorney Mike Murray.
Hi, Mike.
Bill's partner, yeah.
Will Bill be back in February?
Yeah, he will, yeah.
I recommend we table it until our city attorney comes back at the second meeting in February, or he comes to the second meeting in the month.
Yeah, I'll accept that as a friendly amendment.
Okay. All right,
Do you want us to hold off on making the contracted January payment of 54?
that's what I was asking, if we're contractually obligated to make the payment.
Well, Mike, let me ask you a question. My understanding is that that payment of 5461.50 is, there's no, that much we know is owed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Right,
I mean, so,
that's a contractual payment. Doesn't have anything to do with the increase in per
it's,
capita.
right, it's the increase that seems to be the dead hand. Is that
That's all,
right?
the increase is a 100% the hand up here, and just it's an order of operations issue where, just like any other math thing, if we start crunching things out of order, then it's gonna give us the wrong result. So I wanna make sure that we're set up with this. I have no problem making the standard payment as it
That's
says.
what, I don't need
Yeah.
it to say that. I mean,
all right. Want to amend your agenda?
So I,
Amend your motion?
as a composite of all those, I will make the motion that the city of Munising makes the pre-agreed contractual payment of $5,461.50 with the understanding that we will table additional discussion until
Second meeting in
the
February?
second meeting of February for a city attorney review.
I will support that motion.
All right. I hope, any more discussion? Any more discussion?
Michelle, would you throw this on the city attorney's desk?
Yes, I will.
Okay. No more discussion. Moved by Commissioner, well, let me go back. Moved by Commissioner Burge, supported by Commissioner Distar. Oh, thank you. To pay the contractual amount owed to the Alger County Parks and Rec of $5,461.50. And to table any more discussion on the additional payment until the city attorney is able to be in attendance at a meeting.
Third meeting or
The second meeting, just in case I was leaving it open, if you decided to come to the first one.
All right, I think I understand.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Okay. Item 8. Item 8, Munising Tourist Park bathroom building renovations, change orders 2, 3, and 4 to increase, with the increase of $4,439 and a budget adjustment. Okay, Bob, go.
Why was this not included?
Yes. So the locks, when they got there, were kind of working in there. Turns out the locks were all different. They had some on the door, some were the hasp locks where you have like a padlock. It was just all different. They decided that this didn't work. It would be better to have a uniform type of lock on all the things that need to lock, and you can have one key. So that was, I think that was the 1 and 2. Yes, it was more money, but I think in the long run, it will make things run smoother and kind of save money. And then I guess in one of the bathrooms, they had to take down the lighting to put in some ventilation equipment. And when they took the lighting down, there's determined that the lighting was not in good shape and indeed needed to be replaced. So initially, they thought it could be put back after they did the work, but it turns out it was not in good shape, so had to replace it.
What's hall coordination for $172.50 a
Call him the electrician.
$172.50 a call an electrician.
That's general contracting.
Probably 1 hour. Okay.
Yep.
This, which bathroom is this? East or
East.
west?
East.
East, which is relatively new. New, they're both new.
There was a lot of moisture issues in there, that's what loomed a lot of it.
And we want to do three change orders in one motion.
Yeah, do it for the full.
I move that we approve change orders number 2, 3, and 4 for an increase of $4,439 to Hall Contracting for the east bathroom renovations at the tourist park.
I'll support.
Moved by,
The subsequent budget adjustment?
yep, and add the budget adjustment.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
There is a budget adjustment attached to those change orders that I would ask to be approved
Oh, with the budget adjustment?
in addition.
Okay, I'll add that to my motion.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't see it either.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens. Did you support that? No. Did somebody
Well,
support
the-
it?
Nobody has it, I'll support
Oh,
it.
okay.
I thought Bob
Moved by,
did.
what's that?
I thought Bob did.
I did too, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Birch to, approve the, change order
2, 3, and
2
4.
and 3 and 4, thank you. 2, 3, and 4, in the amount of $4,439, and also to approve the budget amendment, budget adjustment. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye, opposed, that motion carries. All right, item 9, UPEA M28 Water System Improvements Pay Application number 5, in the amount of $24,923.54. And Michelle can help us out on that one.
Michelle actually asked that I kind of prepared for some questions.
Sure.
So, go for
I
it.
don't know. I move we approve pay request number 5 for Olson and Olson in the amount of $24,923.54.
I'll support.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Wilkinson to approve the UPA and 28 water system improvements pay application number 5 in the amount of $24,923.54. Any more discussion?
Yep.
Roll call vote, please, Mary.
Commissioner Wilkinson,
Aye.
Commissioner Justardens,
Aye.
Commissioner Bird,
Aye.
Commissioner Prunick,
Aye.
Mayor Barry.
Aye. Motion carried. All right, item 10, this is one of the items that were added, the review of the city charter.
Bob and I had talked about some of the things. I know that he has reasons for wanting the charter changed. I had scheduling reasons to be concerned about it, as well as some citizen concerns that were brought up to me about whether or not the city was in fact in accordance with the city charter, about whether or not the review board was meeting properly for the city charter itself. In the city charter, it is section 15.12, charter study group. Every 10 years, the city commission may appoint a charter study group. They shall make recommendations for changes in the charter, and the group shall make its recommendations within 1 year after appointment. That is the entirety of the city charter's language. I was hoping that we could try to get a start on this, at least in terms of getting people involved to get on board, what a city group looks like. I don't have the institutionalized knowledge though, and because Bob and I had already talked about it, we can't talk about it unless we bring it up as an agenda item. So, you know, I was hoping we would be able to have Sue, because I know Sue's been a part of this in the past, but I know it's her week off kind of deal. So, what does a charter study group look like? Who's on it? Who gets appointed to it? Who's spearheading it? When do we do it? That kind of stuff.
I think, I'm thinking it can be comprised, and you guys let me know, similar to how the rec committee is comprised, it's more.
Well, Sue sent us
We have all the files for one.
the minutes, right. Sue sent me the minutes, and also the minutes of the meeting, that they had, a couple meetings they had, and who was on that. I don't believe there's any commissioners on that at all. I think it was this clerk. And then how they decided, I know Allison was on there and Rick Hale, but I don't know how they got those people together.
And see, that's
You
kind
would know
of
that.
how the rec committee was, except there were commissioners on it.
Right.
The study group, I think, can include commissioners. If you have a charter commission, it cannot include commissioners. But a study group to determine whether or not, A, you need to revise the charter, and B, whether you do it by amendment or charter convention, would be a recommendation made by that study group to the commission, and the commission would decide how to proceed from there. We did this in 2014 and revised our charter. We had amended it a couple of times prior to that. The amendment process is easier than the charter revision process. Any amendments we decide on have to be approved by the voters, and a charter convention or commission, any recommendations they make for a new charter has to be approved by the voters as well.
Makes sense.
If we only need to amend it for one thing, it's easier, much easier to amend it than it is to revise it. And there is a section in the charter on the procedure for doing that. It's in the beginning, I forget where. But if it's a 10-year requirement, and it's been 10 years,
Yes.
means I'm 10 years older, Bob.
So,
I'm hoping I'll be around for 2020 or 2036 or whatever.
We're putting you on that committee.
okay, so what would need to be determined tonight?
I would like to go back and revisit the minutes and talk to Sue to see
Okay.
how we appointed members. I think we put a letter in the paper asking for volunteers from the community.
But they went through quite a bit. There was, on the minutes that Sue sent me, there were 3 pages of changes. I mean, some were just a word here and a word there, but it was an extensive change, and I don't.
You know, the more we talk about this, the more I'm reminded that I think the city commission can amend the charter of its own volition, and there's a process and a procedure for doing that in the charter. I think it's in the front rather than in the back. I don't remember, quite frankly, but if we amend it, we can do that by a city commission vote, then it still has to go on the ballot. And if we revise it, it has to go to a charter commission, which cannot include any commissioners.
Now, just a quick question, and maybe you don't know. If we just amend it, I understand it's gotta go, does it still have to go to the governor or the governor's office for approval? Or if we change the whole,
We're a home rule city, I don't believe it does.
but if we have a city commission that studies that, then it has to go.
Charter commission.
Or charter commission, it would have to go, after that, it would have to go to the governor.
A new charter,
Right,
which is what you end up with.
right.
It has to be approved by the state. I would find it hard to believe we took that section out. I know it's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm mostly looking, again, the reason why I was hoping to bring this up is because I knew that this was gonna be less. Just like to have the discussion of it. But I'm not seeing anything specific unless it's in this one, because I was just looking at the aspects of it, but,
Well, I think we can get an opinion from the city attorney as well, as far as, can we amend 3 sections, or 1 section, or 5 sections, instead of having the
Each
whole charter
amendment, I
commission?
think that each amendment has to be done individually. And it's limited to relatively simple revisions of the language.
So you could have 2 revisions necessarily on the ballot,
Two amendments.
2 amendments, I mean.
because I feel like some of this, because of the way that it's written currently, a lot of it references back to the Home Rule Act, specifically Public Act number 279 of 1909, MCL 117.1 in future. But if it references to that, then I don't know what's in the law, because it's been probably 6 years since I really did a deep dive into the Home Rule Act. So to see how it goes, like, I know, like, for me today, it'd be nice to say, hey, Sue, hey, Bill, can you kind of give us some primers on how did things work in the past and how does it refer back to the Home Rule Act? Because then we can kind of come back and then see how it goes and then just have this discussion, because I do think this is a discussion that almost every part needs to be in front of the public, so that way they can say like,
If you revise it.
if you revise it, they can always go back and see how we brought it forward. to be transparent.
Well, I recommend that we ask the manager to consult with the city attorney and the city clerk and recommend a path forward.
Will do.
I don't know if that needs to be a motion, but
I don't think so.
just a recommendation.
I think that's a great recommendation.
Perfect, that's where I was leaning. All right, item number 11, the Seaberg, Seaberg
my
Enterprise, I know, I didn't mind. The Seaberg Enterprise dump truck rental agreement. Looks like we need to amend. We're gonna,
You familiar with this, Michelle?
Yes, I think this happened at
We-
the very first
We
meeting.
calculated, we estimated to keep it under $5,000, that we could get 58 hours, and then we're gonna revisit it at 40, in case we needed more, and it's January and we need more.
Yeah.
Do you know how much more you would
I
like to request?
don't know. I meant to ask Boz today to see what his estimate was, but I got tied up with some other things, so I didn't get a chance.
All depending on how much more smoke.
Yeah, and Mother Nature was.
I would be willing to do more.
Yeah.
well,
After this
it's
particular.
43 right now, or not quite halfway, with 40 more hours added on to the 58.
So that's 98 total.
Up to 98 hours. That works for me.
Yeah.
If we don't use it, we don't use it,
Right.
assuming the contractor is amenable to that. I assume.
So make a motion that we increase the hourly rental of that 98 hours.
That sounded just like a motion, Bob.
That's what
I'll support that.
All right, it's moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Justardens, to increase the contract from 58 hours to 98 hours. Will we need a budget adjustment for that?
Depends on how much you use.
Right.
Okay, all right, so, okay, we can
We
do
go up to
that.
58, then after that, you're gonna have to have a budget.
So 58, I
That's true.
think, kept
Okay.
it under the $5,000
Right.
threshold that the city manager could approve. Over that is why it came to the commission in the first place, to my understanding, because it was a blanket amount.
Right.
Um,
So, okay, so it will go over that $5,000, so we'll have to revisit the budget adjustment once it does that.
Well,
Once the snow
I'd say once it's done.
Well, I mean, we're increasing the hours, but we're not there yet. We're still under the $5,000 threshold. But once we hit that,
so the other aspect of this, which is really big before we start getting to motions, is that we specifically said we're gonna keep it under $5,000, so that way we didn't have a bid because we were so close to the bid issue. So we cannot extend this contract, we need to put it out for bid. That is a completely different policy and scenario for, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but like all that work you would have done would not have applied, so.
Unless we determine by unanimous consent that a sole source bid is advantageous to the city because we only have one bidder.
Would we have to get,
That works.
could we get like, I don't know if it mattered, but something stating that like last year we tried, and the truck was insufficient?
We had.
I don't know if that would matter, because that would be our other
Mhm.
bid, where it would come from,
right,
and if we had a truck that wasn't sufficient.
Didn't we determine that originally it was a sole source to start with?
Yes.
Yeah, that's that.
okay.
We also had questioned the sole source for a different reason.
What was that, Bryce?
We had questioned, as the commission as a whole, we had kind of questioned that sole source on a different reason.
Right, because the only other qualified bidder did such a poor job the year before.
Yeah.
The equipment they gave us was junk.
Just, yeah, subpar. Okay,
So I
well,
think we can amend that up to 98 hours.
Or authorize the city manager to treat it as a separate contract.
after, recontract, redoing a new contract after the.
If we need to keep it under $5,000.
Mhm.
So for
Well, the commission can
clarification
approve.
purpose, you want them
Yes.
to essentially return the truck and then re-rent the truck? Is that what
Sorry, Chris.
is that what my understanding
She
is?
said, return the truck and then re-rent the truck.
No, just give us another estimate for 40 more hours.
So I believe the original contract didn't have hours. The hours were stipulated by you guys. It was just a blanket per hour
Okay.
Doesn't-
Well,
contract.
then we wouldn't have to change anything, we'd just have to authorize the city manager to extend the performance by another 40 hours. And I'll make that motion.
Okay, so, all right.
I'll support.
All right, so, motion by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Wilkinson, to authorize the city manager to, help me out.
Increase the hours.
Increase the hours, by 40 hours, increase the contract by 40 hours.
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask the attorney again, sorry. We very rarely ask the attorney this one. All right, so essentially, how this went down the first time is that we knew that we had $5,000 of discretional spending for the city manager, and that's how we came up with 58, because we didn't go on bid, because we were questioned on 2 reasons why it was sole source. One of it was, we didn't know if there was another group that had the qualifying aspect, because of last year's bid, they had bad equipment and it didn't work out. There was also a nepotism clause problem that we had in the city charter that brought into other issues. I have a feeling, though, that now that we know that the totality of this issue is more than $5,000, all we did was just circumvent the bidding process in a way that is not going to stand up if it's questioned. And is there a way, like, do we have to stop this altogether, or like, is there a way to like better arrange the motion to include certain language that would further the sole source aspect? Because I feel like all that we did today was just figure out a way to get around bidding for a project that needed to be bid.
Well, the only reason we had a $5,000 cap on it was because we didn't know how many hours we needed, and we wanted to give our interim city manager the authority to authorize the rental. The sole source issue is completely separate matter. We can unanimously, and we did vote unanimously, to waive competitive bidding requirements and go with a sole source contract, because we were reasonably certain there was only one provider in Alger County. And we wanted that person. And then we had a discussion about the nepotism issue, which we also had to have a unanimous vote.
So I'm gonna go back to the meeting minutes here, and that's not how the motion reads. The motion reads, moved by Commissioner Burge, that in the best interest of the city, any conflict with the city treasurer may have with a proposed contract for use of a dump truck be waived, and the contract be for 58 hours only with an evaluation at 40.
Okay.
We don't address the other aspects of the sole source in the initial motion. Which is why, from a legal perspective, I feel like we're leaving our blind side open.
We voted on it unanimously, which makes it legal.
But it wasn't for sole source, it was for nepotism. The motion says nepotism. The motion itself does not say sole source.
How would you like to proceed, Bryce?
Put it for bid, even if it's one. We've got a week.
That's all we have is a week, and we're already at 43 hours, and then, I don't think there's time.
Posting wise, I don't think
No.
there would be time in the time frame that we're looking. I spoke to Boz today, they intend on using the truck starting tonight, I believe, to haul. They're at,
Yeah, we gotta make hay while it's not snowing.
So we do have a motion and a supported motion on the table.
Are you gonna respond at all?
Yeah, I guess I don't see the legal issue here, as from what I've heard.
Okay,
Frankly, I don't.
then I will be quiet.
Okay. All those in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Item F, correspondence.
Comment? Kirsten, Michelle, thank you for this. This is the most formal process that I have seen in getting commission input on the budget. You will have mine within the week.
So, yep, just looking at us being more engaged. I don't know, we don't really need a motion, this is information, okay. Thank you. Item G, G, public comment, 4 minutes.
Yeah. I had a busy first of the month and I don't have a way to talk to everybody, so this is gonna be the best way that I can do it. So, Commissioner Prunick and I had problems and questions regarding the police report in the past, specifically what the last line item means when dealing with assist to other agencies, and then there'd just be a number. We had asked what that meant, and Devin just kind of shrugged it off and never gave us an answer. So now with the new chief, I emailed, Jordan was CC'd on all those emails, some really good things coming up in terms of the funding processes that would open up from that. But I'm also absolutely concerned about just blindly going in and giving the Michigan State Police Negaunee Post any backup based on recent developments that showcase how often that they have abused the state law for warrantless search and seizures at business locations that serve alcohol. I think it's problematic, and I think that if you're working for the city of Munising as a police officer, you should not be going in there and encouraging state police to break the law and to violate the constitutional rights of the people that live or work in the city of Munising or their neighboring townships.
Are you saying that the city police encourage the state police to break the
Oh,
law?
he's on, it's his comment.
Oh, okay.
So at this time, what we know from these aspects, with the Michigan State Police, they have encouraged multiple times illegal use of that law that has led to discrimination against citizens for physical and mental disabilities. They have bullied a man into suicide. They have tampered with multiple criminal sexual conduct investigations. It is a considerable risk at this point for the city of Munising to be providing backup, and I get the answer that Chief Peters gave. It's perfectly viable, but we need to make sure that we're not adding into all those problems. At an Acres meeting yesterday, that went well. Talked with Rod about housing issues, for some background information. The Alva County Democrats wanted me to give a presentation on housing issues. That was supposed to be tonight, but because of the rescheduled meeting, I wasn't able to make it. Talked about Safe Routes to Schools already. Spoke at the Libertarian Party of Michigan convention this weekend in Midland. Made some good contacts to talk about how to find new ideas to help out with issues that we're facing in Munising and just the general community, as well as helping others out. Some of them are going through city manager searches and village manager searches, so to kind of give that little feedback was very helpful and built some good aspects. And then also dealt with various citizen complaints regarding snow removal, the marina, and some other things with the police. So it's been a busy 2 weeks and really haven't had a chance to catch everybody up, so I had to use public comment to do it. So.
Okay. Thank you, Bryce.
And you'll forgive my question, Your Honor, I'm hearing impaired, and I just wanted to make sure I heard that statement correctly.
Okay, no worries. Any other public comment? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Commissioner Prunick, supported by Commissioner Desjardins to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.